Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. My name is Jennifer Waters, and I'm just checking to see if I'm actually live here in Syracuse, New York, and it looks like I am. Welcome, everyone. It's been a while since I have been here, but I am here, and I'm happy to share with you some information today about my specialty, which is accelerating your ability to heal. We don't talk a lot about the elements that are most essential in your healing. I find a lot of people focus on how can we manage symptoms related to your diagnosis. And my favorite thing to do is honestly accelerate, combine things so that you can overcome those symptoms as quickly as possible. I call it accelerated. And my favorite thing to use, of course, is light. If we're going to talk about accelerating health on a cellular level, then we need to include light therapy in that discussion because it is the great accelerator, it is the great adaptogen, and it works on a very deep level and it works very quickly. But first, let's talk a little bit about how do we get away from our symptoms and into feeling good. Often we have to remove certain things that is adding to our discomfort. It can be psycho-emotional. Sometimes we have to end relationships, remove negative emotions. Absolutely, that is the foundation. Sometimes we have to remove synthetic supplements. I can tell you, folks, I've been involved with the supplement industry since I worked at the GNC in 1986. And I've been watching this field evolve over the decades, and there's not too many good stories to share in terms of companies are really using a lot of synthetic materials and selling it to us in the health food industry. And it is not, one of my favorite teachers calls this vitamin identity theft. And in particular, vitamin C being sold to us as ascorbic acid. Ascorbic acid is not vitamin C. It's actually a synthetic isolate from a whole C complex. And the way it was explained to me is that it's kind of the bulkiest part of the vitamin C, like the fibrous part, the easiest to extract. And so, of course, every industry that's looking at us as a commodity is deciding, how can we make as much profit as possible off everybody? And so we're going to look to manufacture this ascorbic acid as cheaply as possible, which means outsourcing it. Most ascorbic acid is corn syrup and sulfuric acid combined. It's imported from China. It's put in capsules and it's sold to us as vitamin C. People start taking high doses of it. They usually get worse or they get no results. And then they say, oh, vitamin C doesn't work. It doesn't help my bone density. It doesn't help my collagen matrix. It's not helping my thymus gland to win the battle of this sore throat I have. So then they disregard it. But the fact is, that's not vitamin C at all. That's a synthetic isolated nutrient. So we have to look at the things before we start adding and replacing and making changes. We often have to remove the things that are affecting our health in a negative way. So take a look at what you're taking. Do a little research on the ingredients. Obviously, ascorbic acid is the example we're talking about now, and it's often used in a small amount as a preservative, and that's fine. A small amount is okay, but if we're looking at 1,000 milligrams, 5,000 milligrams of this a day, thinking it's going to help us, it's not. It's not. It's causing harm. It's causing damage to you. So vitamin E is another one for those of you on your fertility journey. Do not take synthetic vitamin E. Please do not. It's absolutely an essential nutrient that you need And if you're taking a synthetic form of it, it is not going to help your sex hormones produce, right? So we need the good fat for the steroidal hormones, and vitamin E in its whole form. I like wheat germ oil. They have fermented wheat germ oil also. It's going to give us that fat base so that we can get these hormones that we need in order to enhance our fertility. So remove, replace, and then accelerate. I wish that rhymed a little bit better, but close enough is good enough. So the title of this is Stem Cell Production in Acupuncture. Now, the research that I've done shows that it actually there's multiple ways to increase your stem cells. Now, stem cells, as some of you may not know, um, are created by the body, and they are recruited by the body in order of priority. So if you have a concussion, for example, stem cells are going to go to the brain to help repair the concussion. Okay. If you're getting ready for an egg retrieval and your follicles need developing, the body knows, the body has this innate wisdom, and the stem cells are simply going to go there and help your follicles to produce. So this is the basis, from what I understand, of PRP, right? So you're using your blood to Amber, that's a good question. You've got to reach out to me. Okay, you've got to email me. I'll put my contact, jenniferwaters.net. You can email me and I'll give you more information about that. So there is, in the world of stem cell transplants, right? There's people going to Mexico and using their own, you can harvest stem cells from your own bone. A lot of people, from what I understand, can get it from their the hip bone. Actually, you can get stem cells from there. You can get donor stem cells, right? Why not? And getting amazing results, whole body, right? Whether you have arthritis or some kind of inflammatory response, stem cells will come in and help everything. And I've heard firsthand testimonials of like, wow, I went for my neck because I had an injury, but my knees felt better. Everything felt great. A lot of women are doing it, obviously, to help with their ovaries and lining issues and overall fertility, all of the endocrine glands that are connected to fertility. So that's great. That can be expensive. That can be timely. That can be a big investment on a lot of levels. So what I've been studying is how can we get our body to create its own stem cells? If you do a Google search, you'll find there's a lot of foods out there. They say, oh, eat this, that, and the other for creating stem cells. Actually, the act of chewing a lot, they say, forms stem cells. I don't quite understand the mechanism behind it. But the thing I like about that is that it's near the brain, and our brain needs a lot of help. I know mine does. So it's a nice idea. So then fast forward to now, since I'm a light therapist, certified light therapist, and I like looking at all different kinds of light, right? There's lots of different modalities of light out there. We've got the sun, we've got bulbs, we've got LED, we've got saunas, we've got Rife devices, and we have patches, okay? So in the realm of light, it has to come from a source, right? Obviously, the sun is a source of light. The bulb is a source of light. The LED, we have light emitting diodes. So these have specific frequencies. Now we're getting into fine tuning how the light is being delivered, at what power density, and what specific frequencies do you need. Every organ has a certain resonant frequency. Your ovaries have a resonant frequency, your uterus, your liver, your thyroid. So now we can sort of specify the frequency of those organs or glands and introduce that to the body so that it starts to repair itself. I'm a huge believer, based on my years in the clinic here, more often than not, when we can support the body to do what it was designed to do, that's far superior than introducing something from the outside, whether it's a pharmaceutical drug, an herb, bioidentical, whatever. Then the body relies on that, right? We don't want to rely on things. We want to become healed, so we're self-relying. We want to support ourselves so that we can do what we're designed to do, which is heal and repair, right? We're getting new cells all the time. So that's the good news. So in the case of phototherapy, what we're doing is now your body becomes the source of light, right? And you are activating the crystalline structures on these little patches that are really classified as a band-aid, believe it or not. And there's structures on here that when connected to a source of light, in the case of your body, what it does is it reflects back specific wavelengths that will increase peptides in the body. And you can Google that. Peptide therapy is really in. It's comparable to stem cell therapy. But when we have an increase of these specific peptides, this is where stem cells are mobilized. Right now, depending on your age, your health, what's going on in your life, we cannot say for sure, oh, you put this patch on and stem cells are being formed right now. No, it can take a little while. It can take 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year, right? This is part of why my motto is it's what you do every day that matters most, right? Because it's fine, you can do something once a month and that'll have a little bit of a change. But if you're looking to make a big change, you really want to enhance your fertility, you're trying to conceive naturally, whatever it is you're trying to do, then you really need to look at your lifestyle. What are you doing every day? How are you feeling? What are you thinking about? I used to have this game that I would play on the weekends, and I have a timer bell that goes off randomly. And I would set it so that it would go off, randomly, like I just said. Every time that bell rung, I would stop and I would notice what I was thinking about. Because I always imagined myself to be a very positive person. I mean, we don't want to be negative, right? We want to be neutral or above. So what I found is that every time that bell went off, I was thinking about something that was completely irrelevant, not necessarily positive at all, and not co-creating the future that I was hoping to have. So you may think of yourself as a positive person, but until you actually stop, drop what you're doing and roll with it, roll with observing what you're actually thinking about, you'll be surprised. It's a good exercise. Do it if you can. Right. So what you're thinking about, how are you feeling? Are you annoyed all the time? If you're driving on the highway and you're annoyed by drivers and all of this stuff that you really can't control, that's affecting you. That's affecting you in a negative way. So you need to do whatever you can to get out of that mindset of highly reactive, highly reactive. And listen, I used to be. It's the great thing about getting older is that you have less hormones circulating and less reactivity. So it's wonderful. You have a lot of good things to look forward to as you ascend, I call it. How well are you sleeping? How well are you? It's not just eating, it's digesting and eliminating. You could be having the most perfect nutrition in the world, but if you're having stomach aches, constipation, loose stools, diarrhea, cramping, this is not good, right? So it's not just what you're eating, it's how well you're digesting and eliminating it. And then whatever else you can do every day, which is the other reason why I love these little patches, because they're so easy. All you have to do is remember to put them on. And if you forget to take them off, it's okay. It doesn't matter. So the acupuncture point. So the other thing is that, well, I just want to clarify that in terms of acupuncture, there's many ways that you can activate a point. So this is a very common point, large intestine 4 right here, Hogu. And you can press on it, right? That's acupressure. You can use a magnet on it. That's creating a polarity. We're looking to increase circulation. We're looking to conduct your electrical self to move energy, right? Chi, prana, vitality, whatever you want to call it. But this is what acupuncture does, is it's moving energy in the forms of chi and blood. They move together. And this is where the hormones are, right? They're in the blood, and the chi is connected to your hormones in ways of that it's helping to move things to where they need to go. People use tuning forks. You can use crystals. It's pretty cool. So there's lots of options for people that are scared of needles. They've had a bad experience with needles. Children don't necessarily love needles. Some do, some don't. And that's a great, I love that question. I'm just going to finish this. And then I'd like to discuss that if I can. I might not have time today, but we could do it via email. So I like to use light over acupuncture points. Why? Because we can prove that we are donating energy to your cells through the mitochondria. This is where the mitochondria, so the cells, maybe you know this, maybe you don't. Inside the cell, there's lots of different parts, right? And the mitochondria is where the ATP, the adenosine triphosphate, is created. That is your energy. People that feel tired all of the time, or they have chronic viral issues like Epstein-Barr, mono, post-COVID syndrome, whatever, it's most likely because the virus has affected the mitochondria and now they're dysfunctional. And so we need to get them functioning so that you've got enough energy on a cellular level to conduct the bioelectrical part of yourself and move energy along the channels, right? It's that simple. So this is why I like light. It bypasses the gut. It bypasses the liver. We're going directly onto the cellular level. And these are the easiest because, I mean, I love using LED, but let's face it, they can be expensive to buy. You have to plug them in. There's cords attached, and it's usually a 20-minute experience. And if you own your own system, you can do it throughout the day, and that's great. But the patches are easy. You just stick it on. You don't have to think about it. So this one in particular, the X49, they say and there's patents behind this, that this increases the AHKCU copper peptide where stem cells are mobilized. Okay, so that's pretty cool. I didn't really know anything about peptides before I started looking at this. And honestly, let me tell you, when I was first recruited by acupuncturists to get involved with this technology, I did not believe it. I said, no, this isn't light. Light has to come from a source, and the source is outside. Even though my email address is youarelight10. And I know that we're beings of light, and I've done a lot of research. Our DNA actually emits light. Our cells emit light. And when you really meet somebody that's done a lot of work on themselves. I'm not going to say spiritual, I'm going to say emotional, because spiritual practice is ultimately about unburdening our negative emotions so that we can be kind to each other. That's a true sign of somebody, quote, spiritual, is that they have a lot of goodness inside of them and a lot of caring and connection. So I didn't believe it. I said, oh, no. Like, you have to plug it in or sit in the sun or sit in a sauna or something. And they said, no. You are the light now, and you're going to activate these peptides through this. And then so I thought, wow, that's interesting. So one of the main point placements of this patch in particular is the back of the neck. Okay, right here. It's called Du 14. The Chinese name Da Jui. It translates as the great hammer, which is a funny name, because you think, why would you want a great hammer right here? I think it's because it's between cervical 7 and T1. And when you put your head forward, that vertebrae sticks out. And so I think that that's why they call it the great hammer, because it kind of looks like a hammer, I suppose, if the rest of your spine is like the handle of a hammer, and then that is the stick out. But the other thing is the Chinese character for great is Da, which is big, and it is great. And this is a very powerful acupuncture point in the body. It tonifies your chi, right? It means it's donating energy to the body. It's classically, they say it tonifies chi and yang as yin and yang. It clears and calms the spirit, and it affects the head, neck, and arms. This is a point I use on everybody. If they're face down and I'm working on their back and I'm working on their neck and their spine, 1000% I'm going to do this point. It's very powerful, and it directly connects to the brain. So it's a nice way to affect the brain and the entire spine. So I'm simply going to apply this patch right now before I say goodbye, and then I'll give you my website so you can reach out to me. Remove the adhesive, stick it on, and there you go. We're off to the races. Okay, everybody, have a wonderful day. And I look forward to connecting with you. If you happen to be in Syracuse, then come say hello to me. My clinic is inside of CNY Healing Arts. And we're getting a new roof today. It's very exciting. Thank you to Dr. Kiltz for caring about all of us and making the world a better place. I'm pretty sure that's why I'm here. And I try to do my best to do that every day. Some days are certainly better than others, wouldn't you say? Yes. Alrighty. Take care. Reach out to me, okay? I've got lots of info on my website. Bye.